Your speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, I rise
Yes.
to make my contribution once again to the 2014 budget. The job, Mr. Speaker, of every member of this Parliament is to help shape a better Guyana for all Guyanese. It is to listen carefully to the Guyanese people, do our honest best to make people's lives easier, not harder, and honor the commitments we make to those who vote for us. If that's how we discharge our duties as members of Parliament, we in this August House will earn the genuine. Mr. Speaker, I agree with the government that it is their duty to prepare the budget. And I would like to thank the Honorable Dr. Ashley Singh and his team for preparing the 2014 budget under the theme A Better Guyana for All Guyanese. Your hard work is appreciated, and I do not doubt that you have tried to put a little in it for everyone. However, I would like colleagues on the government side that the opposition also has a role to play in this honorable house. And the role of the opposition, Mr. Speaker, is to question the government of the day and hold them accountable to the public. That's the reason we are here, Mr. Speaker, and the people of Guyana who voted for us expect no less from us. Ours is the responsibility to challenge the policies of the government and in so doing produce more enhanced ones that will benefit all Guyanese. That is how Mr. Speaker, the Alliance for Change has the interests of our children, our youths, our women and men, and our elderly at heart. We have the interests of all Guyanese, of all our Guyanese brothers and sisters at heart, in all 10 regions of Guyana. And upon examination of this budget, we will support allocations for projects and programs that will benefit the majority of Guyanese rather than a few. We will identify wasteful allocations and do the right thing by obeying the court's orders and not approve them. Mr. Speaker, in my presentation, I'm going to highlight some concerns and also humbly make some recommendations which I hope the honorable ministers will pay keen attention to and take heed. I would like to start with a pension. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines pension as, and I quote, an amount of money that a company or government pays to a person who is old or sick and can no longer work, unquote. Mr. Speaker, for the majority of our senior citizens who are old or sick and can no longer work, an increase of $625 in pension for them is quite shocking to me, and it's quite shocking and disappointing to our senior citizens who have each contributed to the building of this nation for 50 years and over. With prices for basic household commodities constantly rising, how can any of us here in this honorable house bring ourselves to offer our senior citizens a paltry pension of $13,125 per month? The Minister of Human Services, the Honorable Jennifer Webster, tells us, and I quote, the pension was never meant to be a living wage, unquote. Honorable Minister, I agree, but at least half the amount of the minimum wage would have been acceptable for now. The $20,000 per year electricity concession, now available only to those who have meters in their names, I recommend that the Minister start lobbying her colleagues to expand this amount to senior citizens who do not have meters in their names. We at the AFC, Mr. Speaker, believe that the pie must be shared equally. Mr. Speaker, we also recommend that after consultation with all stakeholders, the government place the building of a retirement village as priority on their list of things to do. The village should be offering lifetime housing, social activities, and levels of care as needs change for our elderly. This facility should be made available to senior citizens whose families have to work to upkeep their own families and as such cannot stay at home to care for their elderly. The facility should also be available for senior citizens whose families cannot afford to care for them at home. Mr. Speaker, our elderly are our mothers and fathers who brought us into this world and cared for us until we could do so for ourselves. There are uncles and aunts who have helped to care for us while we were growing, making sure that we were safe. The right thing to do now, Mr. Speaker, is to return the favor by taking good care of them when they need it. Women. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister Jennifer Webster gave us a list of all the programs that our government has implemented for women, most geared at empowering them and enabling them to become financially independent. These are good programs, Mr. Speaker, but the problem is that many women do not know about these programs. Or if they do hear about them, they do not have an idea how to access them. The minister and her staff need to go out more often into the fields, into the depressed areas, and sensitize women about these programs and how they can access them. The net has to spread wide in order to capture the women who need the benefits of these programs the most, Honorable Minister. Violence against women. Mr. Speaker, what is happening to our women and girls today is great cause for concern. Violence against women has risen to frightening proportions. In the Starbuck News published on January 6, 2013, the headline reads, 2013 saw 29 domestic violence-related murders. And according to the survey done by this newspaper, 6 of the victims were children, with the youngest being just 8 years old. 25 of them were women. Mr. Speaker, since the Honorable Priya Malik Chand led the vigorous Stamp It Out campaign against violence in all its forms against women and the act was passed, there seems to be an upsurge of domestic violence cases, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, did we try to find out why this is so? If this was done, Mr. Speaker, the results of the findings are a secret because I have heard nothing about it. And is there a comprehensive plan mapped out to stem this situation which is growing out of control? We are only in the 4th month, Mr. Speaker, and already the headlines in our daily newspapers are screaming bloody murder and rape. In Kaichur News, March 29 publication, the headline reads, Fort Kaituna killer succumbs with the subheading 14 days after burning wife and 4 children to death. On page 8 of the same newspaper tells of the young, depressed mother who fed her children carbon tablets because she feared her reputed husband was coming to take the children away from her. In February 27 publication of the Starbuck News, the headline on the front page reads, Paradise Girl found in shallow grave. Mr. Speaker, Patricia Young was only 19 years old and the police suspected that she was raped before she was killed. For the first quarter of this year alone, the amount of murders and rapes of our girls and women are astounding. The Honorable Minister of Human Services needs to share whatever plans and programs her ministry has come up with to keep our women safe. She needs to share this with shadow ministers of both the AFC and APNU so that we too can assist in the implementation of these programs. We are all women, Honorable Minister, and murder and rape do not have political persuasion nor color. The way things are right now, no woman is safe, and statistics reveal that more cases of HIV and other STDs in our elderly are on the rise. Why? Because these elderly widows live alone, and many of them are repeatedly raped by young men in the area. Women making waves. Mr. Speaker, the time has come for us to have a Ministry of Women's Affairs, like many other countries do. The issues of women, including health, are wide and varied and cannot be lumped in the cook-up pot. A Ministry of Women's Affairs will be able to research and fashion better policies to reduce violence against women and increase their safety. Research and implement more workable programs which will increase the economic independence of women, bringing benefits to themselves and their families. Long gone are the days when women stayed at home and with the children, while their men worked to provide for the home. In today's economy, the world over, the job of providing for the home cannot be left only to the men. This would be grossly unfair. The global economy demands that both men and women work to successfully support their families. Mr. Speaker, women are the strength and stability of any home, and since we are greater in number than our men, it is only fitting that those of us who have leadership qualities and wish to develop our own governance career should be encouraged to do so and be able to access the relevant institutions and programs that specialize in women in leadership. I guarantee, Mr. Speaker, that more women in leadership positions augur well for our country and its people, and we stand a better chance of achieving our full potential with a fully focused Ministry of Women's Affairs. Women are powerful creatures, Mr. Speaker, and most of us do not realize this, sad to say. We do not realize how powerful we are. But sadly too, somewhere along the road, while fighting for our equal rights, we have allowed our men to outsmart us and hijack our power from us. I believe, Mr. Speaker, that for the continuance of our species, we have to take back that power and so ensure our survival and restoration of our dignity. Our men, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, equally important are our men. And I'm happy that there is a functioning men's bureau within the Ministry of Human Services to deal with the many issues that adversely affect our men today. Mr. Speaker, we heard the Honorable Minister Barry Ramsden, Minister of Health, yesterday, mentioned that prostate cancer is the #1 killer in Guyana. And statistics show that men, more than women, suffer from prostate cancer. Mr. Speaker, I recommend that more awareness programs...
Could you repeat what you I think there's something inaccurate. There's an error. More men have prostate cancer than women.
I was of the belief that only men suffer from prostate, but a woman told me she had it. All right, I take that back. Statistics show that statistics show that many of our men suffer from prostate cancer. And I repeat, it is the #1 killer in Guyana. I recommend that more awareness programs about this disease be stepped up so that our men can be encouraged to have regular checkups. I have also heard the Honorable Jennifer Webster mention the programs for men. Mr. Speaker, many of our men are out of control, judging by the violent crimes they commit against their loved ones and the strangers as well. One can safely conclude that they are mentally and emotionally unstable. What is the root cause of such beastly behavior? And was a survey done to identify the reason or reasons behind such behavior? Mr. Speaker, the emotional and mental state of our men in Guyana is a case that demands urgent measures, and I would recommend a national conversation to begin with. Clearly, our men are severely stressed in the home, and most of it, Mr. Speaker, has to do with finances. In most cases, Mr. Speaker, in our vulnerable families, there is not enough money to last through the month, causing our men to suffer from helplessness and depression. And because our women also suffer from the same stress and depression, they fail to recognize the same in their partners and proceed to react out of fear for the welfare of their families. Mr. Speaker, much more has to be done for our men. Anger management programs are not enough. Our men need to be able to earn a minimum of at least $70,000 per month tax-free. Mr. Speaker, the little for everyone in this budget is still too little for our vulnerable families. And they're taking a toll. It's taking a toll on our men. The people of the hinterland.
However, you have 5 minutes within this to conclude.
According to the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, Guyana has recorded the highest ever gold declaration of 481,102 ounces as of December 2013, surpassing the previous highest level of 435, which included the declarations of both OI and small mining operators. Out of the 6 mining districts in Guyana, the statistics clearly illustrate that mining district 3, Mazaruni Mining District, declared the highest production of 79.394 ounces, followed by Mining District 2, Putoro Mining District, with 77.903 ounces, while Mining District 4, Cayuni Mining District, declared its production of 71.07 ounces of gold. Today, gold is the leading main contributor to Guyana's GDP and the leading export of our country in the terms of its value, contributing approximately 72.2% of the total value of the mining sector's output. Mr. Speaker, these mining districts that I have identified are located in the hinterland regions, and the statistical data from Guyana Geology and Mines Commission clearly indicates that our hinterland regions contribute the highest revenue towards our country's development. However, it is very sad to know that those administrative regions in which the mining districts are located have been receiving a small portion of this budget allocation for their development. Every year, Region 8 receives the lowest portion of budget allocation, although it is the second highest contributor of gold production in Guyana. It is my firm belief that a good portion of this revenue earned from mining should be given back to these regions for their structural development. Our roads and bridges should be some of the best in this country. The road to Madia, for example, is in a deplorable condition and no one seems to be bothered about this. But these bad roads take a toll on minibuses who daily traverse this road. The Madia Road to Princeville is also in terrible condition. In February, when I visited, potholes were as large as 20 feet by 20 feet, and one of my team counted over 60 of them. The bridge and the culverts, which were done only last year, have already begun to deteriorate. And in the case of a culvert, it was never completed. It was never covered. The repairs to the S-bend is not being used because it was badly done, so vehicles go around the repaired part of the road. Mr. Speaker, the problem is an old and ongoing problem, and that is the one of delinquent contractors who get paid for incomplete and badly done jobs. Mr. Speaker, this should not be, and by now the regional tender boards must know who these delinquent contractors are, and should begin to consider other contractors for these jobs instead of wasting our people's money by continuing to give the same contractors these contracts. Education. Every year, the Ministry of Education budgets millions of dollars for education delivery. But from my hinterland visits to these vulnerable communities, I have observed that not much attention is given to our hinterland children. For example, the pupils in Parmatoy Primary School are still housed in the multi-purpose building and in the Christ Church, in the Church of Christ, which do not have adequate space. Construction after 2 years is only now being done. Continued. As stated by my colleague, the Honorable Eula Marcelo, these children are accommodated in the multi-purpose and the Church of Christ. The regional budget estimate also shows allocation of monies for furniture for schools in the respective administrative regions, but schools in very remote areas do not benefit from it. For example, Chinapau Primary School in Region 8 has a shortage of furniture. The teachers' quarters where BSO teachers are staying do not have electricity, and the plumbing system is bad. Some schools in Region 8 are also not adequately staffed. For example, Princeton Primary, which has one teacher who does multi-grade teaching and at the same time perform administrative duties. Our youth in the hinterland. It is nothing but the truth that our indigenous
You begin to wrap up,
suffer.
member.
Thank you. 2 minutes? All right. Some of the lack of opportunities more readily available to the rest of our Guyanese youth. And this is mainly so because of the remoteness of the communities in the hinterland. But like any other youth in Guyana, our hinterland youth deserve equal opportunities. So I understand when the Honorable Minister of Amerindian Affairs embarked on a program to benefit hinterland youths, the YEAP, Youth Entrepreneurship and Apprenticeship Program. I think the thought behind this program was a good one, but I do not think it was a well thought out one. The minister should have commenced this program with at least 3 sectors in health, education, and forestry where it applies. Because, Honorable Speaker, from every community, complaints are coming out that CSOs, many of them, have nothing to do most of the time. So although this program is a good one, it should have been thought out better. It should have started with at least 3 sectors: education, health, and forestry. Then expand the others. Right now, instead of receiving 30,000 per month for doing nothing or working twice, 2 days per week, they could have been training. Or I see an allocation for over 700 million, and I hope that within this you have budgeted for taking up training in the communities, training them to be joiners, masonry, plumbing. Take these things up there to teach them. Give them, then they will deserve their stipend. We want our indigenous youths to have value for things, for money, for whatever they acquire. Nothing is free, because whatever they get, it is hard-earned taxpayers' money that are giving it to them. So when you spend it on our youth, you have to make sure that it's used Honorable Minister. So we are not against this program. We just want it to be used properly so that our youths can really learn from it. So training programs is the best thing, then they can deserve their stipend.
Thank you.
And if this is what you're going to do, there's no problem. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.